Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Sachin Kumar. Today I am going to deal with a new chapter for you guys. It's economics. It's an introduction to economics. I guess those who are studying in first PUC have not studied economics until today, officially. But in your life, you have followed economics unknowingly. Today I am going to give you a brief detail about the economics. For the next 15 to 20 minutes, please be here, please be concentrate. These things will put a base, the foundation very strong in subject called economics. So without wasting the time, let's move directly to the subject. So first of all, this is for first PU economics. Comes under first PU, first chapter economics. So first we are going to deal with the introduction. As normal in every chapter, the first concept what we are going to deal is introduction. So why economics is important? I will tell you why. Knowledge of economics is important because it helps to solve the problems such as inflations. For the first PU students, it's quite difficult to understand what do you mean by inflation. So I will tell in few words. Inflation means, I'll give you the present example. So see, in the market, the present onion price is 150 rupees. So it is inflation. It means rise in the price level. So what economics says? So economics will explains the reason for inflation and also gives answers for the inflation. It means it gives measures to how to reduce the inflation. So I will give you another example. Last year same situation was there. At that time our central government, what did you know? It imported onion from foreign countries. So somehow it successfully controlled inflation. So next point is why economics is important, because population explosion. So economics will, the knowledge of economics will tell you what are the adverse effects of population explosion. Population growth is important, but beyond the limit, the growth is not important. It's not at all important. So this is what India and China are facing. So majority of the problems will arise only because of the population explosion. So economics knowledge will help you to understand why it is not good for the economy and what are the measures to overcome from that problem. This is we can understand by the studying of economics. And next is adverse balance of payment. So what do you mean by balance of payment? It's also a new topic for you guys. Adverse effects means unfavorable balance of payment. We normally, if it is a favorable balance of payment means we will not worry. If it is unfavorable, I will tell you in little words. Okay, balance of payment means we import some of the goods from foreign countries and also we export many goods to the foreign countries. If we are importing more goods rather than exporting, it will lead to unfavorable balance of payment. It means we are paying more for that imports. It is called unfavorable balance of payment. So you are going to understand what are the adverse effects of balance of payment while studying about the economics. Under economics, you will study thoroughly about the adverse effects or unfavorable balance of payment. Next one is economics and Nobel Prize. You should know that economics is the only one subject, only one social science which comes under Nobel Prize from 1969. And economics has been awarded with many Nobel Prizes. And that's why Paul Samuelson says economics is the queen of all social sciences. So that's why I'm saying you guys, you have not studied officially until today economics, but somehow you may have followed economics. in the market, you will go to a shop and you will compare the prices. For example, if the cloth, if for a shirt here one particular shop it is 300 rupees. In another particular shop, for the same shirt for the same brand it is 400 rupees. Where you will buy? Definitely you will buy in first shop because it is cheaper. So this is economics. You will judge. This knowledge you will get unknowingly. You will decide for which I should go for. This is what economics. And economics is not only limited for the economics students or economics for studying under economics. It doesn't have any limits. I should say this. It doesn't have any limits. Whole country, whole nation, whole world is following economics, and who are not studying economics, who are not into economics, are also following economics unknowingly. So, coming to the next point, meaning. So, what do you mean by economics? So, I will tell you one task, guys. Before going to study anything, just think about it. Before going to study anything, just think about it. What it will make you know. If you think about it, if you did not get any answer at that time, you will be very curious. What will be the answer? What is the answer? So I want to learn, I want to study, I want to get to know. So close your eyes for 1 minute and pause the video and think about economics. Go for it. Close your eyes and pause the video and think about what do you mean by economics. Okay, over. Now, economics is derived from the Greek word, which is oikonomia. We can pronounce it how it is. Oikonomia. It's a Greek word, and it means household management. Oikonomia, which is derived from economics, is derived from the oikonomia, which means household management. And next thing is, what economics deals with? What is the subject matter? So it deals mainly with how human beings satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. We all know that resources are very limited, but our wants are unlimited. Say for example, consider your pocket money. You have 1,000 rupees in your pocket. 1,000 rupees in your pocket, but your dreams, your wants are unlimited. You can't satisfy, you can't purchase all your wants, all your needs by that 1,000 rupees. So at that time, what you will do, you will prioritize the things. You will prioritize the goods, like which is very urgent. Which goods should I purchase now itself, or which goods which can be purchased in the future. So you will prioritize like that, and also will prioritize like which is very important to me. For example, in the present case, for students, mobile phone is very important because there are online classes going on. They have to listen to the class so they need mobile phone. So mobile phone is very important for them right now. Like that, they will prioritize, categorize the things, categorize the needs. So this is about how human beings satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. Limited resources means the resource, as we know, resources are not unlimited. It is limited. It can be exhausted. So it should be used in very sophisticated manner. Okay, let's come into the definitions. As I said, economics deals with it deals with how human beings satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. And also adding to that, economics will study about production, consumption, distribution. How the goods are produced within the economy, how the goods are distributed within the economy. This can be studied only under the economics. Please notice point, guys. And for first PUC students, I am telling you. Please note these points. This is very important for your life and also for your exams. And the derivatives from which word economics is derived, and also why economics is important. You should be able to answer quickly. You should not think like you should not think like that. You should be able to answer very quickly. What do you mean by economics? From which word economics is derived? From which language the word came from? You should be able to give answer very rapidly. It's like rapid round. Okay, next going to the definitions. So we have so many definitions in present days, but this definition does not came suddenly. It evolved from the past ancient days. It became evolving. It became changing. The definitions also became changing. It's not the, for example, Adam Smith also said one definition. For now we are not following that definition. The situation when Adam Smith was there was different, and situation now is different. So, you know Adam Smith. Please note this, guys. Adam Smith is the father of economics. You should know this. Adam Smith is the father of economics. Because of him, because of his book, an inquiry into the nature and causes of wealth of nation. This is the book written by Adam Smith in 1776. In 1776, Adam Smith wrote a book called An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation. So because of this book, economics got perfect shape. Until then, the economics was not discussed as a particular subject. It was combined with, it was summed up with some other subjects. So Adam Smith was the first person who clearly, particularly made economics as a subject, economics as a study area. So before that also, Plato, Aristotle also discussed about the economics. It's like whether the ownership property rights should be legitimate or not. Some of the concepts which comes under economics were discussed, but it was not particular to the subject. It was mixed with the political science, it was mixed with the sociology. So like that it was happening. Because of the Adam Smith, he's the classical economics, he's the father of economics. It's very important, guys. Adam Smith is the father of economics. Because of Adam Smith, economics got a perfect shape. So after him, the discussion started about economics. So he given a root, he given a foundation to the economics. So according to him, what is economics? Adam Smith defined economics as very simple. In one sentence he finished. Economics is science of wealth. He considered economics as a wealth. According to him, it's a science of wealth. Later on, it was criticized by so many economists like neoclassical economists. Neoclassical means after classical economists, we will come to see neoclassical economics like Leonard Robbins, like that. So, according to him, it's a science of wealth. So, what are the key points which he discussed under economics in the science of wealth, under science of wealth? So, coming to that point, laissez-faire. For the first time, I am sure that for the first time you are going to hear this term, laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. What do you mean by laissez-faire? It's not an English word, don't worry. You will not know the answer. What do you mean by laissez-faire? So, laissez-faire means non-intervention of the government. Can you understand? Non-intervention of the government. Here, in India we are following mixed economy. On the one side we have capitalist economy, on the one side we have socialist economy, like that. We have mixed economy. So earlier what was the situation? only capitalistic economy. It means only demand and supply. These are called as market forces. Please note this point, guys. Demand and supply. Demand and supply are called as market forces. So market forces will determine the price. Now, in some cases, government is determining the prices, and in some cases, private sector is determining the prices. But under laissez-faire, no government can intervene. It's perfectly, purely private, and it's purely determined by the market forces, based upon the supply and based upon the demand. I said on onion example. See, why onion price is increased? Because it's not the onion season, and also supply is very less, so demand is more and price is more. It's simple. When the supply is less, when the demand is more, price will be more, obviously. So his first and foremost point is laissez-faire policy, and it was also condemned by so many economists because it will exploit the resources. It will not give justifications, like that the views of many economists. And the next point, what he discussed under his Science of Wealth, under his book and inquiry to the nature and cause of wealth of nation, is capital and wealth accumulation. A country should accumulate capital and wealth, so then only that country can become rich. He has that point of view. And next one is division of labor. So division of labor, you know the answer, but I'll tell you exact answer. Division of labor is it's what? Dividing the laborers. It's like if there are 2%, 3% are there. One is expert in particular field, another one is particular field. Like that, they were expert in some fields. So, in what field they are experts? Assigning that task. Can you understand? If I am expert in typing, in computer typing, if I am expert, so employer will give that job for me. If another person who is expert in assembling the works, in manufacturing industries, assembling works will be very, very important. So he is very genius in that work. If he is very fast in that work, it means they will give that work. It means division of labor. What it will lead to, the ultimate productivity will increase. So when we are going on doing same work again and again, the speed increases. Ultimately, production will increases. Productivity will also increases. And this is about the division of labor. And next comes is neoclassical economics. This is Adam Smith wealth definition. Please note this point, guys. I forgot to say there are 3 definitions under economics. You should be very aware of this. First one is wealth definition, which is given by Adam Smith. And the next thing we are going to study is welfare definition, which is given by Leonard Robbins.